Hello everyone, it's Heather, and in today's video I want to give you a little bit of an update on the status of using Disney Genie Plus at Walt Disney World when it's super busy. We visited Disneyland in January of 2022, and then we went to Walt Disney World over the 4th of July in July of 2022. After those two trips, I made this video. Now, I still stand by the things that I said in that video. I still think that that is the best strategy for using Disney Genie Plus to get your money's worth on the vast majority of days that you would be visiting a Disney theme park, okay? Either Disneyland or Walt Disney World. The key takeaway that you need to get from that strategy, from that method of using Disney Genie Plus to get your money's worth and get the most out of Disney Genie Plus is that you have to make sure that you choose your lightning lane selections in order by time of day. You want to go from the earliest in the day and keep going one after the other by time. If you choose a lightning lane that's way in advance, that's way farther later in the day, that's going to mess you up because then you won't be able to choose another lightning lane until 2 hours have passed since you chose that lightning lane. So that's kind of minimizing your ability to maximize using lightning lane to get on rides without waiting in line. Okay, so that's the key thing with the strategy. That's still true. However, we went to Walt Disney World again just last week over Thanksgiving week, and it was extremely busy. It was probably the busiest I've ever seen Walt Disney World in my life. It was probably a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10, according to the crowd calendars read every day. Very, very busy, very, very crowded. And I ran into a situation with my Disney Genie Plus that I need to tell you about because this is a little bit of a modification that you're going to have to take into account with my earlier strategy. You're still going to kind of use that strategy, but you also have to do something else if you want to get on the most in-demand super popular attractions. What happened when we were at Disney World last week is that the most popular attractions, so for example, Slinky Dog Dash at Hollywood Studios, Frozen Ever After, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, Test Track at Epcot, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad at Magic Kingdom, okay? You'll notice though, I'm leaving some really popular attractions off this list. The ones I'm leaving off are the ones that you can buy an individual lightning lane for. Individual lightning lanes are the ones that you have to pay extra for. You don't have to buy Disney Genie Plus to buy an individual lightning lane. You can just pay for those attractions themselves. These are Rise of the Resistance at Hollywood Studios, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train at Magic Kingdom. I can't remember at Animal Kingdom. Is it still Avatar Flight of Passage? It might be. Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Coaster at Epcot. Those are individual lightning lane attractions. Now, Cosmic Coaster at Epcot, you can also try to get a boarding group, which doesn't cost you anything. Okay, that's just, you go on at 7 a.m. and you try to get on it. We actually did get one, but it was concerning to me that they might not get to our boarding group by the time we had to go to Candlelight Processional, so I actually canceled it and ended up buying the individual lightning lane instead because then I knew I had a guaranteed spot. You can buy an individual lightning lane for those select attractions without buying Disney Genie Plus, and it doesn't affect your Disney Genie Plus strategy because it doesn't affect your ability to pick up regular lightning lanes with Disney Genie Plus. So you can either not get Disney Genie Plus and just buy those individual lightning lanes by themselves, and they vary in price. I've seen as low as $10 and up to $25. I think we paid $25. So they're going to vary by demand and how busy the park is that day. So just be aware of that. If you have 5 people in your family, that can get pretty expensive pretty fast. But so can Disney Genie Plus. Just kind of have that aside. You can pick up an individual lightning lane by itself or in conjunction with Disney Genie Plus and just take whatever time it gives you. And actually, with the individual lightning lanes, it'll let you pick a time. It'll let you say, I want to be within the, 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock hour, And then you can pick more specifically like 210, 220, 230, whatever. So with the individual lightning lanes, you have some freedom to choose the time of day and you can work it around, you know, you have dinner reservation or whatever. So I didn't have any trouble at all picking up individual lightning lanes, but you have to pay for those, okay? Now with Disney Genie Plus, here's the problem I ran into. The really popular attractions that I mentioned earlier that are just popular, regular attractions, not the individual lightning lanes, just regular lightning lanes. So think of it like regular Fast Pass was, okay? Just like I talked about in that earlier video, people still have it in their heads. Okay, I gotta pick my 3 like you did with Fast Pass. You know, I wanna make sure I get this, this, and this. Okay. And I talked about how you shouldn't do that anymore. However, when the parks are really, really busy, like they are over the holidays, okay, over Thanksgiving week, over Christmas, over New Year's, they're going to be crazy busy, probably over Easter, if they're still using Disney Genie Plus, we'll have to see. Okay, one of the reasons I wanted to get this video up right away to you, and sorry if I'm interrupting the cruise content, but I wanted to get this up right away when we're during this busy season and before they might potentially make some changes to everything going on in the parks now that they've brought Bob Iger back in. You kind of do have to use that old Fast Pass thinking a little bit when the parks are busy. And this is what I mean. If there's a ride you really want to go on, and it's a very popular ride like one of the ones I mentioned, the lightning lanes are going to run out. They're going to. I guarantee it. They're all going to run out. For example, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. The first day we went to Epcot, which was Sunday, November 20th, it was just Ben and I. We picked up a lightning lane right away at 7 o'clock in the morning. I think I grabbed it. And it was for, I don't know, sometime in the afternoon. And we walked right in and got right on, and it was no problem. Okay? But on Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, we were back at Epcot, and this time Megan was with us. Megan never got to ride Remy's Ratatouille Adventure because there were so many people in the lightning lane that the lightning lane line was 45 minutes long to wait. And we had to get to our lunch reservation, so we had to actually bail on our lightning lane for Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. I canceled it because by canceling it, you free yourself up to pick up another one. Okay, that's an important tip too. If you ever don't use one of your lightning lanes, like you know you're not going to get to it or you've changed your mind or whatever, make sure you go back into the app and cancel it. Because if you don't cancel it, you have to wait until that time has passed or the 2-hour rule has passed before you can pick up another one. But if you cancel it, you'll be able to pick up another one right away. So it's just like tapping in, like I talked about in that earlier video. So make sure you cancel your lightning lanes if you're not going to use them. And also that frees up a spot for someone else. What happened was the most popular attractions were running out of lightning lanes relatively early in the day. So like, you know, by lunchtime, all the lightning lanes for some of the popular attractions or early afternoon, they were all gone. So I had no choice if I wanted to make sure we got on those, but to pick those lightning lanes, even though the next time it was available, like I'll give you an example. When I picked the lightning lane for, I don't remember what it was. I think it was like Slinky Dog. I grabbed it first thing in the morning at 7 a.m. as a resort guest. But the first available time at 7 a.m., 7:01, by the time I pushed it and it's, you know, buffered or whatever, was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So that meant every lightning lane slot in that first 30 to 60 seconds that I was in the app, from the time the park opened at 9 a.m. until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, had been taken already. So here's the modification you need to do when the parks are really busy. If there's a very popular ride that you want to make sure that you and your family or whatever get on, grab that one first. Okay, grab it as early as you can. If you're a resort guest, grab it at 7 a.m. If you're a off-site guest and you're just going to the park that day, grab it as soon as the park opens. Now, this is going to mess you up because then what that means is you can't pick up another lightning lane for 2 hours after the park opens. And that's true whether you're staying on-site or off-site. So unfortunately, that means that you're going to have a gap of time. And it's going to be 2 hours until you pass tapping into that lightning lane that you have that's sitting out there later in the day. So that is kind of a bummer. But then I would say go back to using your old tried and true park touring methods. You know, get there right at rope drop and ride things early before the lines get long. Try to ride things during meal times, or go during the parade, or try to ride things during the fireworks. You know, things like that, other methods that you can try to minimize your time waiting in line. But even though you have that one sitting out there later in the day, you know, or maybe it's even 2 of them, there were times, I will tell you, last week that I had 4 or 5 lightning lanes booked all at the same time. That is possible. So again, it goes back to working more like Max Pass did at Disneyland. It's more like that than it is the way Fast Pass was at Walt Disney World before they got rid of it. Once you have those ones sitting out there, then you can kind of back up, if you will, and use my other method where you're stacking them in order by time. So once you have, okay, we've got Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, individual lightning lane secured for this time, and we've got, I know what it was on the day we went to Magic Kingdom, and I had Peter Pan's Flight. I had those secured. And so those were sitting out there later in the day. But then after 2 hours after the park opened, I was able to go through and pick up one lightning lane at a time as close to the time that it was as possible. So, okay, it's 11 o'clock. Oh, here we can get a lightning lane for 11:05. And then we can tap into that one, and then we can get another lightning lane for, 12 or whatever, and you can do them in the order by time prior to the time that you have the high popular ride sitting out there for later in the day. I hope that makes sense. I don't know if I'm explaining this well enough, but my point is that you need to remember when the parks are busy that those really popular rides, the lightning lanes, are going to run out very fast. So you need to secure those early, as quick as you can, and then do what you can before that until that time comes to fill in your time and get on rides that have low wait times or have earlier lightning lanes. There is an advantage to this if you're tired, or if you, like me, have teenagers that want to sleep a little later. I would wake up, basically every park day we had, I would wake up at 7 a.m. I probably had even paid for my Disney Genie Plus the night before because I was up past midnight anyway. So you can buy the Disney Genie Plus from midnight of the day of your park visit, but you can't book anything if you're a resort guest until 7 a.m. So I would buy the Disney Genie Plus the night before, or a little bit before 7, and then right at 7, I would grab the individual lightning lane that I wanted for the day, and I would grab one of those most popular attractions that I wanted for the day. And then I went back to sleep because then I couldn't do anything else until 2 hours after the park opened. I had those for sometime in the afternoon, but I couldn't do anything else, so there was no reason for me to make the kids get up early or anything. Now you can get up early. I mean, if you're up and you want to stay up, get everybody up and go ride rides early in the day before the lines get long. That's another option too. But for us, it just worked better just to go back to sleep, and we slept until like 9:30, 10 o'clock. Got to the park around lunchtime, or we ate at the resort and then went to the park, and then we did all of our rides in the afternoon and the evening. That's how it worked for us. And that actually worked really well. So that's a different strategy, kind of a tweak on my earlier strategy. You still want to try to remember that you need to try to be getting those lightning lanes in order by time as much as possible. But because during the very busy weeks at Walt Disney World, and probably Disneyland too, those really popular lightning lanes are going to run out very quickly early in the day, you want to get those secured as quickly as possible. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions about this, please leave them in the comments below and I will answer them. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you are going to Walt Disney World or Disneyland this holiday season, I hope you have a great time. The parks are decorated beautifully. It's a really fun time to be there. Even though it was crowded, we still had a fabulous time. If you like this video or found it helpful or informative, please give me a thumbs up down below. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, there's lots more Disney content coming from our latest trip here over Thanksgiving. You don't want to miss any of those videos, so make sure you're subscribed. Have a great day, everyone, and safe travels.